Sweet. Here we go. Cool. So, welcome to the new YouTube series, I guess. What I want to do is help the ladies and gents that don't get their 10 pages in every single day. I'm going to be reading The Science of Getting Rich, and every new book that I read and I open, I'll be doing it like this. I think it's fun. I think I can share some extra thoughts while I'm reading it. If there's something that tickles my fancy or makes me think about something or feel inspired to speak about a specific topic, I'll be doing something like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, enjoy the view, enjoy the reading. If you have any feedback or you have any comments or anything like that that you want to leave, or any of the words that we've read touches you in a certain way that will inspires you, drop it down below, let us know. Or you can just follow me on Instagram, send me a message, and we can get started. So, it's been a good day overall. It's now just past 2 o'clock, about 10 minutes past. Got a fresh cup of coffee and the book. I've actually read quite a bit of it already. Monique and I usually sit and, I'll read to her. And I decided, you know what, let's just do something like this, where I sit down and I read to the people that want to read the same book, or at least get a taste of 10 pages. I'll read it front to back, and then we'll go from there. Not going to read the preface. Not going to read anything else besides just getting started right at chapter 1 and enjoy it. So let's get started. Chapter 1 of The Science of Getting Rich. The right to be rich. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. No man can rise to his greatest possible heights in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, he must have many things to use, and he cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. Man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use of things, and society is so organized that man must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich. The object of all life is development, and everything that lives has an inalienable right to all development it is capable of attaining. Man's right to life means his right to have the free and unresurrected use of all things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment, or, in other words, his right to be rich. In this book, I shall not speak of riches in a figurative way. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with little. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every man should have all that he can contribute to power, elegance, beauty, richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. Sorry, the bell's ringing. Give me a second. And that, my friends, was a good interruption. Young lady, didn't even get her name. Can't believe I didn't get her name. Rang the doorbell and she said, "Hey, I see this is the case with the place that you're staying at. I'm a design student at this university, and I have to do a final project where I work with, design and things like that, and show off luxury and whatever." And the cool thing is that she just took the opportunity to ask, right? And for me, that's the most beautiful thing anybody could do. Always seek knowledge. Ask. A-S-K. Always seek knowledge. And it's kind of similar to what this book, you'll see at chapter 7, chapter 8, how the author talks about living in, you'll hear the way that he says that you live in a certain way, all these kinds of things. You gotta think a certain way, you gotta believe a certain way, do a certain way. And what I've been experiencing while being here, number one, is the environment. It's fucking amazing. And so my brain thinks differently. The way that I live my life every day is different. But that's not to say that when I go back home to a smaller place, that I'm going to go back to living that way. I've experienced what it's like to live like this, and now I'm going to take that knowledge back and I'm going to apply it in my everyday life, my business and everything else. But what I'm actually wanting to share about what this experience was like now with this young girl was that she has a task that she needs to do, and she's coming to the nicest part of town in the winelands to ask if she can do a design project or something like that for this area or for this hotel or manor house or whatever farm you're staying on, kind of thing. And with that, if you do a good job, the second and third tier consequence, because remember, consequence is not a negative thing. It has a negative association with it, but it's not. It's what happens after you take a step, for example. The positive consequences that come out of the second and third tier is, let's say this house is just bought over from new owners, and they are going through the design process with interior designers, the decorators, and whatever. And they are more modern owners, and they want to get younger people involved and give people opportunities. Because as you guys very well know, people that make a lot of money and have built a lot of success, they don't mind sharing that with anybody, especially people that are young, innovative, that want to grow and they show potential. And so they're not shy to give away those opportunities if you show up for it, right? Again, ask, always acknowledge. And the second and third tier consequences of this could literally be them saying, cool, you can, it could be here, it could be anywhere else. You can have a look and see what you can do with our place. And if we like it, we're more than happy to pay you to build it and make it happen and bring it to life. Now, does she know that that's going to happen? No. Is it going to be at this place? We don't know. Is she going to just ask one place? No. She's going to go to every single place in the street and every single place in the town, and she's going to ask everyone the same thing until somebody says, yes, that's a great idea, show me what you can do. We've been thinking about redesigning, show me, like she's starting her career. She might not ever have to go and work for somebody else. She might, by doing this, be able to kickstart her career in the space. And the people of here, they do have funds, I could say that. They're not shy to spend. But they've all worked hard. A lot of successful people around here. But cool, we've spoken enough. We're almost 10 minutes in. It'll be a little bit shorter because I'll have to cut that into action out. But yeah, and a lot of people might have turned her away because what can they do for her? What can she do for them? It's not the point. It's paying it forward, giving people opportunities, same way you were given opportunity. Just give them a chance to pitch. And yeah, cool beans. Let's get started. So we ended off with the purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every man should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. The man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich, and no man who has not plenty of money can have all he wants. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. Every person naturally wants to become all that they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. You can become what you want to be only by making use of the things, and you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. To understand science, or this science of getting rich, is therefore the most essential of all knowledge. There is nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. And so the man who does not desire to have money enough to buy all he wants is abnormal. There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, and we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the three, body, mind, or soul, can live fully in either of the others is cut short of life, of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind or body, and it is wrong to live for the intellect and deny body or soul. I'm experiencing that now, actually. I've neglected my body and paid a lot of attention to my mind and my soul. So I want to get the body back into shape. I've taken the bicycle in today to get repaired. A very nice one. And I'll be riding to gym every day and back. Cool. Here we go. Whatever he can say, no man can be really happy or satisfied unless his body is living fully in every function, and unless the same is true of his mind and soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression, or function seeking performance. Man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary to his physical life. You think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's always something we learned in school, but you can always go back to when you're having a conversation with someone, kind of see where they are on that spectrum, or in that triangle, or what block they're in. And it makes it a lot easier for you to connect with them and actually identify a place where you can potentially help them if they need it or want it. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, without intellect companionship. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations, and he must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. Shout out to my man Brett, if you're watching this, young guy, extremely studious, and he taught me a lot about, actually, the other day we spoke about burning of the boats. We all have heard, what's his name, David Goggins speak about burning the boats, and the rest of the guys like Chris Williamson and Alex Emerzi and the boys talk about how you got to burn the boats. But Brett explained to me exactly where that actually comes from and what the Spaniards had actually done to achieve that and why he said that. The size of the army he took on, the size of the army he had, which is pretty cool. And that's why I'm doing this. I want to read more books. I don't want to listen to Audible. I think it's impersonal. It's like texting a girl when you can just take it on a date, right? But anyway, to live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband or father, as a citizen or as a man. I've highlighted this. It's the quote of the day. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband or father, as a citizen or as a man. That doesn't mean that you are worth nothing as a person. That means that you can only give limited amounts of everything, because you only have limited amounts of things to give, you know. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life for his body, develops his mind, and unfolds his soul. It is therefore of supreme importance to him that he should be rich. It is, and when he refers to man, he's talking about human, not just man, even though he talks about husband, father, citizen, or as a man. But you can take it as you want. It is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal man or woman, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, for it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect this study, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God and humanity, for you can render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. Funny story that I'll tell you guys later. Doesn't have to be right now. We're going on to chapter 2. That was chapter 1, just a few pages. I'll tell you what, why don't we just read a chapter for the day? I think that's enough. We'll end that off right there. So the first chapter was the right to be rich. And he was talking about how every man and woman has a right to be rich, and they should do that so that they can live the fullest life and express the fullest everything that they have to express and help people around them. And the cool thing that stands out here that matches the number one value of my company, Blight & Co., is generosity. And that comes from an old ex-girlfriend of mine, her mom, Tia. She would always talk to me, send me these quotes and things and tell me to pay it forward. And I finally, really recently understood what she meant. And so, like, giving and helping people out is one of the most important things that we can do. Giving opportunity, paying it forward, being nice to people, not being selfish, being selfless. And so, so that's going to end it off for today. We're going to do chapter by chapter. I'm going to just take my little marker here and put it over here so that we can remember that tomorrow we can come back and watch this for chapter 2. Anyways, guys and girls, if you enjoy that, let me know. Nice, short. I think it's about 16 or so minutes. We'll see if we can edit it out to about 10, because I spent a few minutes out there. If there's any questions you guys have, let me know. If there's any specific book recs you want, let me know. Maybe what we can do is answer a few questions before we get started. And then we'll go from there. Cheerio, cheerio, baby.